Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Hello farmers, and welcome back to Hawke's Bay by Cat64 in Farming Simulator 19. So we need to get to a few things at the start of this episode. First of all, I do apologize for the audio in episode number 2. I do believe from doing Mercury Farms, and I actually just did a Farmers Dynasty update on the closed beta. It all seems like my audio, I think I got it all figured out, we're all set there. And now let's get to another juicy part. So this is episode 3. I've already recorded episode 3. Kind of. I pretty much got done recording episode 3 and I ran into a problem. I was just about done. Like I said, I'm just about done recording, getting ready to wrap up the episode. You're probably wondering, wait a minute, is that the big bud plowing in the cornfield? Yes, it is. So basically I had the big bud plowing in that field. I was closing up the other things, which we'll get to where we are in the farm. And all of a sudden the game just locked right up and it locked my entire PC up. So the only way out of it, I had to restart, hard start, just completely restart the PC, and that just ruined the recording I had. The format is not recognizable. So the whole episode was lost. So I spent about half an hour because I had quite a bit of machinery going, as you can understand, because we got a lot of fields. And I was trying to figure out what was going on. And it all came down to, as I found out doing a lot of testing, it has to do with Stevie's mod on the plow. The one I've been using all the time. Where are plows? So I can show you. This plow right here, the Gold Plow Platinum 8mm by Stevie. The problem only occurs on a articulated tractor like the Big Bud or the T9, because I tried it on the T9. So the problem is, if you use an articulated tractor, like I'm saying, the Big Bud, the T9, the Case, Quadritrac, using Stevie's modded plow, and maybe he's done an update to it and I just haven't seen it. If you hire a worker, and only if you hire a worker, when the worker gets to the end of a field, there's something to do with the parameter. It just, you see, I had to go into developer mode, which is this mode right here on the PC, and a whole bunch of errors came up, and it was saying plow this, plow that. So I was like, okay, well, I use the plow, nothing wrong with it. I can go back and forth. I thought it was the Big Bud causing the problem. So I dropped, I put the T9 on the plow. Same problem. Right when he got to the end of the field, the game was locked up, a whole bunch of errors. The reason why it's working now is not on a hired helper, it's on course play. And as we can see on course play, he's doing the field, no problem whatsoever. So if you do have Stevie's mod, and like I said, he may have done an update to it, I may go look on his Facebook page and maybe send him a message, see if he's got an update for it, or at least tell him that the Colte plow does have a little bit of an issue when doing a hired worker. And as I know, it's only on the articulated tractors like the Big Bud. When I mean articulated, and it may be a different terminology for these kind of tractors, but when it's got the pivot point in the center. So like this tractor, when he gets to the edge of the field and he'll start turning, you can see where it pivots in the center, like the T9 or the Case Quadritrac. So yes, what did I do up until that point that we missed? Well, we pretty much started before we get to that. So yeah, the articulated tractors are the ones, so you'll see when he turns, see how the tractor kind of pivots in the center. That's what I'm calling the articulated tractors. But he seems to be getting along fine. So, what did I do in quote-unquote episode 3? First thing I did was we fed the pigs, gave them straw, gave them water. When I mean feed the pigs, remember all that barley we had that I said, I got plenty of food for the chickens? The pigs took it all. So all these pigs over here, the original pig pen does have some corn, barley, and straw. The other 3 have all barley, straw, and water. So, yeah, we went back and forth, took care of the pigs. And then, of course, we got right up here and we started creating chaff for the BGA. So let me just hop on over to the BGA like so. Actually, let me get rid of the flight mode here. So yeah, here's the chaff. Yes, we compacted it. I can't show you. It is fermenting. We got that far. I'm trying to remember 540,000 liters of chaff. I think is what we got. So we're going to get 540 liters of actually silage. So when doing all that, I was talking about right over here, and you can see, well, you may not kind of remember, but this field was the oat field that we did for the horses, or it had oats in it. So we harvested this field here, and of course I had this guy on course play. He harvested the field while we were doing the chaff, so the horses are fully fed with oats. So I talked about this is going to be our maize / cornfield for chaff because, I mean, the BGA is right there, the gate's on this side. Shuttling back and forth to our Big X when he was doing the chaff over in that field. Basically, I was unloading our trailer in the BGA, and as I was unloading the trailer in the BGA, the Big X was getting full. The Big X we have a modded Big X with 60,000 liter capacity, so he was getting full. So I decided, yeah, this is probably, it's a decent sized field. We can put corn in this field, and when we're doing chaff, boom, right across from there. The other thing we did is we own all these fields here. So this is cotton. We harvested the cotton in this field. I harvested the barley in this field. All these fields are empty except for this one right here, which is potatoes. And I talked about, well, we're going to make this all one big field here. We're going to merge all these fields together right here. The potatoes will just have to be plowed in because I don't have a harvester for that. So the barley, I finished topping off the pigs, and we picked up the straw. We stored some straw. The one thing I did test, and I finally did some sales, we finally sold something, is I took the straw off this field, and I was curious. Unlike Mercury Farms, so on Mercury Farms, I cannot sell loose straw at the barn. So I said, let's go on down to Taylor Bales down here, which is the barn. This barn right here will take loose straw. And I do believe it's the only place on the map that takes straw currently. So here's straw. Yes, we got tons of it in stock. And the only place to sell it is Taylor Bales. It will take loose straw. So that's what we sold there. And while I was at it, I kind of tested the cotton field here. So if you watch my Ravenport series, I had a problem. So on crop destruction on Ravenport, when I harvested a cotton field, after harvesting it, can I just jump down here? Yes, I got a gas station. That's genius of me to do that. So as you know, when you harvest cotton, you get the stalks up like this. You harvest them, they're fine. But if you got crop destruction on, if I drove over it, I would, destroy the stalks here. When I went to reseed it on Ravenport, anywhere that I destroyed the crop stalks, when I went to reseed it, it would not seed in that area. In order to fix that problem, I had to plow the field and then reseed it. So I did a little test when I finally figured out what was causing the problem with the plow. I came over here with the T9 and I just drove around, destroyed a lot of this crop, and I took the seed drill, went back and forth, and it seeded over it fine. So I don't know if that was fixed in patch 1.3 and release, or if that's a Ravenport map problem, but when we harvest cotton now, I shouldn't have to worry about it too much. So that's pretty much what we did. Yeah, and then of course I did a little clip of me, using the big bud. Let's plow the field, and then I put it on a hired worker, and that's when the game locked up. I couldn't do anything on my PC. I couldn't get to Task Manager. Yeah, so I had to do a hard restart, and of course my recording was still going. And by doing a hard restart, of course, I didn't end the recording. So I think the coding at the end of my saved recording, when I try to load it into render or edit, it just says, I don't recognize this coding. I'm all confused. So that is pretty much where we are. So the pigs, if we go here, yeah, so these are the original pigs we had. We had some corn. We gave them wheat, barley, some soybeans. We had a little bit of sugar beet, whatever. So they're all good. The other pigs are pretty much looking like this. They got wheat and barley. They got water. They got straw. They're clean. Oh yeah, also in the episode, we got in the John Deere and we went around and cleaned up all the animals. So they should be 100% clean like the chickens. And, well, the cows can't get dirty. And where's my sheep? Are the sheep at the bottom? The sheep are somewhere. Sheep are right here. So, yeah, the sheep are doing pretty good. We do have some wool there. So if we go visit the sheep. Hi, sheep. How you doing? Where are we here? So, yeah, we're starting to get some little packages of wool for us. And the chickens, I think we got like 2 boxes. So that is where we are. We are in the early morning hours. I'm trying out this new... this came out on the Mod Hub today. So the upper right-hand corner, the HUD display, I'm trying to see how it's going to work. So during the day, the HUD is going to be completely black. So when you put it up to the sky, it's really easy to see. It's not white. And when nighttime comes, it will be a white HUD display. So everything will be white, and during the day it's black. I can see when it's black. In some cases, like you're in the shade, it's hard to see. But I'll give it a whirl, see how it goes. Alright, so I think we're caught up to what we kind of missed in episode 3. So yeah, kind of a whole bunch of mishaps here. Episode 2, the volume and recording was kind of, oh boy, what the heck happened there? But like I said, I think we got that situated. And of course, then I said, well, I got it fixed now. Let's go ahead and record episode 3. And then I had a problem with the plow. So I think we got the plow situated here. So what we're going to do now is this field right here needs some lime love. So I do have our tractor here with the lime spreader. Oh yeah, and the other thing I kind of mentioned, remember when I was going to do, what's that called? Sorghum? How do you pronounce it? Sorghum? I wanted to plant sorghum here, and I forgot to change the planter, and it was on wheat. Well, luckily it's wheat now because we have no cereal crop whatsoever. So if you remember, we had tons of barley, like I said. I fed it to all the pigs. So right now I'm left with 14,000 liters. I actually had over, I think 40,000 liters of barley from that field. So that's what we're left with. We do have a little bit of oats left over now from that field because we fed the horses. But now I think I got that all situated. Let's hop into our Massey Ferguson. I also did get a chance to, we use our sprayer. Our sprayer is, nope, that's our cotton harvester. Our sprayer. So we fertilized also this field here and this field here to get double fertilization. And yes, the weeds are coming. So this field over here, 51, is probably going to be, I thought it was going to be a grass field, but I changed my mind because I think what we're going to do here is we're going to make this field all right here, this nice big field. This will be our grass field right here. So, yeah, we got to merge the fields, and of course, we'll just plow it all together and then go ahead and make this a grass field. We got grass here. It's ready for harvest because we do not have any hay whatsoever. And actually, what I should be doing here, because we do have GPS. Alt-E, Alt-E. There we go. And if I do Alt-R, it'll figure out the width for us. Thank you very much. So let's go ahead. We need to lime this field. This is, like I said, this is going to be a cornfield. So we can have some more chaff. 500,000 liters should be pretty darn good to start with. So somewhere around 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, we should have some silage. But we do have to cut. We're going to cut that grass today so we can get some hay. And there I go again. I'm pointing over my shoulder to where the direction of the field is. Like, you can see where I'm pointing. I don't know why. But after we lime this field, we're going to get the T9, sowing this field with some corn. And then, like I said, we're going to grab our big... oh, I know why. I'm like, why isn't it turning? I had GPS on. It takes a second for it to know I want to turn. Yeah, okay. You know what? I'll just do this. So, yeah, we're going to go cut that grass field, make some hay. We're going to go roll in the hay, I guess. So, we'll be ready later on to make some total mix rations so our cows can get up and going. And the reason why this is very important, because we are down to $190,000. Every day we're going to lose $56,000 to pay on the interest rate of our loan. But our fields are growing. Most of our animals are completely fed. We do need to, you know, I got to plant more corn and get more corn going for the pigs, for sure. But like the cotton field I didn't sell no cotton. I only got like maybe just shy of 11,000 liters of cotton. So the cotton field over here that I just showed you where he's sitting at, waiting for it to harvest. I'm like, well, that must be close to harvest. Not really. But that's the other cotton field we have, so he's going to have to wait. Yeah, we're going to have to start, hopefully, you know, we got fields that we're going to be harvesting. We could sell some stuff later on. But right now it's turning fields over, getting the fields planted for what we need, where we need it, and hopefully some other fields we can start planting stuff. We got a pretty big field of canola, so I think we'll top off the pigs with some of the canola, and then the rest we'll be able to sell. That is way up in the north end of the map. I've been trying to think of other things I was saying in the other recording before the mishap happened. I do believe I was talking about we'll probably end up buying like another big bud, another plow. With the amount of fields that we got, we're going to, you know, we need more tractors, so we got a lot of things trying to go on at once. Like we did buy a second harvester, but at the moment I can kind of keep up with what we have, I do believe. But we bought so many fields now, I kind of forgot what fields we own, what ones we don't own. The other thing I was thinking of is putting down more silos, like placeables, like lime fillers, whatever. But we do have the auger wagon. So like, definitely the auger wagon is for doing lime. But looks like I got plenty of lime for a field this size, as we can see. Now the reason why there is some oats there, I put the courseplay worker to do a couple headlands on this field because it was kind of tight in here. And when they do headlands, they kind of do like, I think there's different settings for it, but they do more like circles. So they did miss a couple spots. I actually went around and cleaned up a couple spots for it. But the way things are on this map, it could be that we just have one tractor for each implement because it could just go around and around and around because, yeah, I mean, I could just have this Massey Ferguson hooked up to the lime spreader the entire time. Alright, there we go. So that field is all limed up. How is our plow doing? He's doing fine. As we can see, that field needs lime. So, as you would think. All right, so what I need to do, I think we need to hop into this guy. I just need to park him somewhere for now, out of the way. We'll bring him on over here. So there's the wheat field that we planted. And the weeds are arriving, as we can see. Into the T9. It's already set on corn. So here, we're not going to use GPS. I am just going to do a headland for it. And then I'll hire a worker to go ahead and seed the rest of the field, because we're going to go over and grab the big bud and the plow and head on down to the quote-unquote new grass field that we're doing. But I'm going to bring the Massey Ferguson over, top him off with some lime so he can lime that field that the big bud just did. And we're, like I said, we're going to go head over and start creating a field and plant some grass in there, so in a few days time we'll have a big field of grass, because the field that we got isn't quite big enough, but it's going to be good enough to get enough hay, hopefully, to make some total mix rations for the cows later on. So pretty much on this map, as you can see, it's not going to be I can do one job and just go all the way through with it. I may do that once in a while, but for the most part it's going to be, you know, starting off a field, helping out the worker, if you will, and then saying, okay, hired worker, do the rest. But occasionally I think we'll look at a field. When we do chaff, that is something we'll probably have to do, unless I said I could probably... I would like to set up course play on this one, maybe do chaff. The only issue could be is this BGA has a gate on it, so course play could run into the gate and have issues and hang up once in a while. But this will be a decent sized cornfield. We could expand it later on. We could actually merge it up with the wheat field that's right there, and wow, that would be a lot, and I mean a lot of chaff. But I think the BGA could handle that. As you saw, I had 500,000 liters in that one bunker, and it wasn't even making really a dent into it, really. So I'm going to do one more headland up here because of the farm. The worker could have a problem. So let me finish with this headland here. I'll put him off on a worker. I'll jump into the Massey Ferguson. Head back to the main parking area to fill up with some lime. And set off a worker on that field up there. And we're going to grab the big bud. Alright, so we're over here at our last cornfield. He's off and going. Our worker over here is doing just fine as well. We need to jump over here. Stop the driver, close the course completely. We will fold the plow. I don't know why, we're not going too far with it. But we don't want to fall off the edge over here. So we do need a lot more equipment, but that'll come in time, because I could see when I start doing work up here. I wonder if these fields are ready. No, they're not. They do have weeds in them. Those are pretty big fields. I probably should send up the sprayer for herbicide and get those fields taken care of. Those are pretty big fields, and that's going to bring in a lot of income. So here we go. Here's the said potato field. And really, I could care less if I crushed the crop in there or what. Oh, I almost forgot. We need to head to the store. Because when I've bought the big bud, let me double check here. Yes, I do not have GPS on the big bud. So I gotta spend 15 grand on the big bud to get GPS up, so when we plow, we can plow in a straight line. And I'll probably knock down the stop sign when I go in. I don't want to knock down this one at the road, but I might. This one I might hit. Yeah, I do hit it. We'll just bring it with us. That's for a road worker for stopping cars in the road when... Can I reach that? I can. Okay, space, customize, GPS. Yes, please. Customize. And we still got the road sign. So, yeah, if we need a worker to stop traffic, we got a stop sign here. Even though there is no traffic. Well, there goes the stop sign. Never mind. So the thing about this being a grass field, we're going to plow it completely. And also, make sure we put lime down before we seed it. Make sure we do everything, because once you do that with the grass field, you don't have to do lime again, and it always will have a stage of fertilization as well. Alright, let's unfold the plow. Alright, so that is on Alt E. Perfect. Alt R to readjust the width. And I'll move this over. Oh, why did you do that? Probably not far enough over to the edge. See, that's looking pretty good right there. So I think we'll go with that. So that's all lined up. Now we'll allow to create field. And we'll make sure we go all the way up to the cotton field, because I don't think the cotton field extends out as far as we are. Now this is the other thing I said, we need probably another bigger tractor, because we have the cultivator. And we're going to try to make sure we cultivate when plowing a field. So this will be our future grass field right here. Alright, so hopefully I just line this up with this edge of the field down here. So you can see we're adding a little bit to the cotton field that was here. And now we're lined right up with this field here. Now I'm hoping this field is lined up with the other one down here as well. And we'll have our outer edges done for the sides, and then I'll just have to change GPS around to do the north and south ends, and then it's got to clean up the middle a little bit. Now I can't use a hired worker here. Well, I shouldn't be using a hired worker at all, because the game will crash on me. I could do course play, but the problem is it's not going to recognize the field in the middle. But there is a way around that. So we are just about here. This is all perfectly lined up for us. I'm not sure this field needs to be plowed at all, but turn allow create fields off. And now it's time to turn the GPS 90 degrees and set it up to go the other directions. We took care of the south end. Now we're at the north end, getting our perimeter all set. So our boundary is now complete. I should not need GPS anymore, so we'll turn that off. Once I get back in the field, I'll turn the plow so it allows to create fields. And now with a big bud, I'll just give myself a couple passes here and there. then what I can do is I'll have to restart the game once I get all this grass in between the fields plowed. When I restart the game, Horseplay will recalculate the field. It'll see it as one big field, and I can set it off in Horseplay, and then it'll plow the entire field itself. So I'm going to be busy just for a little while, plowing in between the fields. Make sure I do get all the grass. And I'll reload the game, bring you guys back, and we'll set this guy off, and then we'll probably start cutting some grass while this guy is going to town, making sure this field's nice and plowed. Alright, so we got most of the field, well, we got the field all merged into one. We'll really find out now if we do by coming in here. So this is kind of like field 21. Oops, right there. Headlands, none. If I do create, yes, he's going to go up and down completely. That is great. That is fantastic. A couple things I need to make sure. So it's not going to create any fields, nothing like that. That's all good. We'll start the engine. I can come in here and actually see how long it's going to take them. Drive course. So somewhere around 32 minutes, 13 seconds for him to plow the whole field, which is fine. If we come into this page here, it's going to look like a mess. I mean, plow, lime, so yeah, so basically we're going to lime it and then put some grass down. But while he is doing that, wow, we got stuff everywhere. It's a mess. It's a total mess. Where is... Can I jump into something? Yeah. Let's jump into here. So what I'm going to do now, also while we're going on, this should be the herbicide. Which it is. Excuse, I actually got GPS on this guy. Interesting. I probably said why not at the early stages because I had $20 million. So we are going to bring him up here, field 48. I don't even know what's even in these fields, but he's going to start weeding out all these, well, you can't do field 44 because that's already for harvest. What is field 44? Looks like wheat. But sunflower and canola, I want to get those fields done. Oh, we got a cornfield, which is good because we need some corn for the pigs. So I want to drive him up here. I'm probably going to have to put a placeable down for refillable herbicide. I may just stick it somewhere in Hawke's Bay Traders. And I'm just watching the big bud doing what he's doing, unless I get a message. So I'm going to drive up there, get this guy started, and I'll probably bring it back because we haven't really been up there really, but we'll take a quick look and see what we're doing and see how this guy's going to look when he gets up there, if I know how to get up there. So I had to fix the big bud. Basically what I had to do was clear Horseplay and make him do 2 headlands. He was trying to turn around. I think you saw it. He was on the other side of the street. He was clipping the lamppost. So hopefully by doing 2 headlands that may or may not solve the problem. I don't know. Either way. So there is our cornfield. That's not too far off from being ready for harvest. We got a wheat field up here ready for harvest. So I don't know how far this guy is going to get. He does hold, well, I guess he's supposed to hold 9,000 liters, but for some reason they can't. Either way. But now, well, I thought I showed it to you once before, but that was in the episode that got non-recorded, I guess. But you can see this thing does have a pretty good wide working width. So hopefully it won't take them too long to do this field here. So this is going to help get rid of the weeds. At least that's part of the plan. So we're just going to let him be, do what he needs to do. That's looking good already. So you can see these fields are pretty big. Oh, wow, that worker may have a problem with that. So, yep, there's our worker. He's plowing there. So what we're going to do now, field number 8. Let's head on back to... Wow, you're going to jump right into it. How about that? And I think we still got the tedder hooked up to it, which is great. I keep saying that when I get a little bit of free time, when work kind of slows down a bit, we'll get more of our garage parking area figured out. The pig pen, oh yeah, we'll get time to do that. Really, with all the fields that we own, when am I going to get time? I don't know. I don't know. So our big bud seems to be doing fine so far. We'll just let him go, see what happens. But here is our lovely grass field, which we are going to make some beautiful hay with. Our cows will eventually love us for doing this. Alright, so let me unfold that. Maybe a little funky because I'm not where I need to be. Let me turn the HUD back on as well so I can make sure. Wide spreading. I think it's always going to be on wide spreading, really. I don't know when we'll just want regular grass. And I almost forgot to turn on the tedder. That would be a beautiful thing to do. Now really what I could be doing, because I do have Follow Me installed, I could have a tractor behind us with our windrowing up. Our windrower is rather big, so I think it's just better off we mow the grass here like we're doing and then go on later, windrow it up. It's not going to take us too long. This is not really a big field. I thought, like, is that a grass field next to us? Nope, it's just, there's just a cell point there. So this tedder is almost like the perfect size for the Big M. It's perfect. It's just a little bit wider. It's going to get all of it. But this hay is going to come in very crucial. We did get some hay. Did I not? I can't remember now. I can't remember if that was in episode 2 or not where we collected the hay. But we did collect the hay, obviously. Yeah, no, that was episode 2 because we got the pig pen down. So yeah, you saw me windrow that up and pick it up and top off the sheep and the horses with some hay. But now we're going to make some more, and we're going to keep this as a grass field for now because we don't have enough inventory, obviously, for a while. And I really don't know how much silage the cows are going to take. I'm starting off with the most cows I've had in 19, so we'll see how much they take probably in the next episode. That's roughly where I see the cows being taken care of. The cows will be taken care of before midnight for sure. Just because when I sleep through the night, I want to make sure that they got all the food they have and they can start producing milk. Because like I said, we got like this day and maybe the next day before we could really have some money problems. We're going to have to start selling some crop, but we should be fine because where that sprayer is working, that crop up there should be more than enough to suffice our animals. And then we could use the rest to sell. And we're going to have a lot to sell, so I think we're going to be fine. And I think the way we're going to pay back the loan is, I think what we'll try to do, we won't be paying it back off right away. And I think the big bud's having problems again. Because he is taking such wide turns. I may have to shoot him. No. I may have to do more than one. I think I did 2 headlands, but obviously he's having a rough time with it because he's taking such a wide turn. I think what we'll do is I'll finish cutting the grass here because I'm into it. He's not going to charge me. He's just going to use a little bit of fuel, and that's fine. But like I was saying with the loan, I think what we're going to do is try to keep it so I at least have $500,000 before I start paying off the loan. So we're always going to have like $500,000 in our bank account so we can buy stuff when we need it. And then once, anything over that, then we'll slowly pay off our loan. It's only $20 million. I don't believe it's going to take us that long to pay it off, because there's a lot of field here, a lot of crops. It will take a while for the pigs to actually start making us money, because, well, we almost bought 100 per, so it's going to take a while. But once they get close to filling that up, yeah, we'll be making money from the pigs, and obviously the cows, the eggs, the horses. Yeah, we'll pay it off pretty quickly, I think. So I'm going to keep mowing here, obviously. The mow, the merrier. Yeah, lame joke, I know. And then I think I'll have to hop into the big bud and finish plowing that field ourselves. I just have to remember myself next time on a tight field and I do course play, it's going to have to be probably 4 headlands for him, because he's taking such a wide turn. So let me finish this up, and then we'll hop on the big bud and we'll do some plowing. One more strip, and then we'll jump into the big bud. In the future, when seasons comes along, even though you use a tedder to turn the grass into hay, there will be like a timer on the grass before it actually turns into hay. So like right now, when it comes off that tedder in the base game, it just turns right into hay. But with seasons, I think they said, like, I want to say someone said 4 hours, but obviously nothing's been released yet, so I wouldn't hold anything I say to anything at all. And as I was mowing this field, I happened to look outside my window because something caught my eye, and I was like, are you kidding me? It's snowing out pretty good where I am right now. Just as the snow started really melting where I am, I could start to see patches of my lawn or whatever. And yeah, now it's snowing out there. Come on, spring, where are you? So we're going to go well, we can pack up the mower, which we are. But we're going to go park it up because our 747 is stuck. Something you never want to hear. But yeah, he's into that light post again. So we'll park him here. Yes, I know I need to take time and just do a garage thing, but we're trying to get everything up and going. How's this guy going? He's actually doing pretty good. He's having a little trouble getting up next to the traders area, but that's all good. But we are going to hop into this guy. There we go. Let's stop the driver, close the course out. You tried your best, dude. You tried your best. Okay, this is rather interesting. So the thing is, I was going to use the big bud on course play to cultivate the field, which I probably will still. I'll just make him do 3 headlands with it, or maybe 4, or just tell him to go clockwise around the field. Alright, so what I am going to do, yeah, I do have that off, right? Okay. I don't want to be creating any fields. So now I will use GPS, because these are long fields. Alt-E, Alt-E. Oh, I haven't gone far enough yet. I realize that. I should have known that. That is good. We'll hit Alt-R to make sure the width is correct, which now it is. Alright, and away we go. Let's go ahead and plow this field. And, yeah, enjoy the time lapse. plowing in our going to be new grass field. I just realized the big bud's probably not going to be able to hook up to our cultivator because that's a 3-point linkage on that. So the T9, we'll take that down to the store. The cultivator should still be there. I think that's where I haven't moved it, I don't believe. So the T9 will cultivate the field, and then the Massey Ferguson will align the field, and then the T9 will go ahead and put grass into the field. The hay can stay there for now. We don't need it right now at the very moment, obviously, because the cows wouldn't mind having something to eat, but we're going to save it for the total mix rations. I need to come over here and get this little piece right here. So the T9 is going to have the same problem the Big Bud did, I'm sure. So I'm going to try to do a couple of headlands myself. Well, actually, I bet you I can put them on a worker because it's not the plow. The plow needs to be on a worker because the issues I have with the game crashing if I don't with this modded plow. Let's go and bring you up to the parking area. Like I said, I'll grab the T9. I'll get the cultivator hooked up to it, and I'll meet you back here, and we'll put him on a worker and see what he does. And we'll wrap up the episode, because we're going to take care of the hay in the next episode. And I need to check up on how our sprayer's doing on the herbicide up there. I didn't see no message, but then again, I wasn't paying attention. Alright, just ignore the stop sign on the ground. Of course I'm going to take him out everywhere. So let's get this T9 up and going and cultivating this field. I'm going to hire a worker and not course play. So hopefully the hired worker can kind of figure it out a little bit better. He's pulling it, no problem whatsoever. So our sprayer up here did a pretty good job. Except for one little section. I think it's going to be right here. But he did do the whole field and did not run out of herbicide. So that is a major plus for up here. Alright, so how does that look now? That's much better. Now, the issue I have is I could either go all the way back to the store, or not the store, our garage area, or I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it. There's a placeable up here, placeable area. I mean, it's only $5,000 to put one of these things down, so that's not too big of a deal. But for where I'm going to place it down, the parking area is not too far from here. I mean, really, with all these fields up here, I should have an area. Let me get back to you here. Let me see if I can think of. Alright, so as you can see, I decided to put liquid herbicide and fertilizer up here right at the cell point. Way, I don't want to say way up here, but with the big fields we got right here, yeah, I'm going to need to refill every time like I do this field, and then probably these combined. So it saves me from going down. And for $10,000, it's worth it just to put it here. So let's go ahead, hop out of that view. Come over here. We will top him off. And we will send him over to do that field right there. Can I start at that corner? Yeah, so this edge may be a little bit of an issue. I'm in the wrong field. I'm like, where's my worker? I'm in the wrong field. He's over here. He's over here. So it looks like he's going back and forth fine. Let's just take a quick peek at what he's doing. Yep, so he's zooming around just fine. Once he gets going, the Massey Ferguson's right there with some lime. Hire a worker to do that as well. And that's not what you want to see. Where was I? Right here. All right. This guy full? He's full. All right, make sure well, watch out for the stop sign. Make sure I get on this side of the light post. And it looks like I need to go a little bit more this way for sure. I don't have to get exact, I guess. Right there's good. So it shouldn't take them too long. One thing about these Hardy sprayers, their working speed is pretty good. 15 miles an hour is not bad at all. So he'll get rid of the weeds there. Like I said, this guy is going to town here. So I think what I'll do as well, since you're all sitting here watching me go to town here, we will get this Massey Ferguson and start spraying some lime right here in this field with a worker. Why kick back and relax? That's my plan. It's not quite fully cultivated, but I think it's good enough. Like I said, we really don't have to. So he's all set. So this field will be cultivated and limed. It's looking good already. So we will have a grass field. We got some hay sitting over there. We got our silage. The cows will be happy later on this evening. The one thing I really need to look at is the only big field that's ready for harvest is right up here, and that's just wheat, which I could use for storage. None of our fields are ready to go just yet. Yeah, the big bud needs to come over here, and probably... Does the field need to be plowed or anything? Doesn't say it does. I wonder if it would be worth it to rent the potato harvester, or excuse me, lease a potato harvester. Be interesting to see if that's the case. We could probably rent it, lease it, sorry. What are taters? Taters don't usually go for that much. $4.24, that's actually a decent price. So I'll have to see. What are you doing, sir? Oh, my guess is that part of the field does not need to be limed. No, it doesn't. So he's only going down. Okay, so you may catch up to that guy in a bit. I'll have to keep track of that. But I think that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. Hopefully the audio is a lot better than episode 2. I mean, it should be. But I appreciate you watching as always, and I'll catch you next time in Hawke's Bay. But until then, have a good one.